Welcome back, everyone, to looking at the latest CAL FIRE perimeter map. Haven't seen much growth to the east or to the south, but what we are tracking is that branch off to the west near Lewiston. It has stretched itself off to the west a little bit here. Last check, I did take a look at the mileage from the fire. Lewiston is about 2.5 miles from that fire line based on the latest perimeter map that we've got there.
And we want to show the graphic with the updated numbers. The containment has grown to 27%. Fire has burned 110,000 acres. Now stay with our continuing coverage of the Carr fire. We will cover the CAL FIRE briefing on our Facebook page and on our website and mobile app, so you can go to those sources to watch the CAL FIRE update. And we'll continue to update our news crawl and our website with any changes in evacuations as we learn them. GMA is next.
You're watching KRCR News Channel 7. Get the facts right.
Good morning, America. Breaking news for our viewers in the West. Deadly inferno. The massive Carr wildfire now scorching more than 100,000 acres. This giant firenado swarming neighborhoods. Houses turned into fireballs as thousands of firefighters battle more than 60 fires out west. The new alerts this morning.
Breaking news, Paul Manafort heads to trial. President Trump's former campaign.
And we do say good morning, America. When will people realize there are cameras everywhere?
And why do you want to shirk in the first place, right?
In the West, more than 60 large uncontained fires burning right now. This image showing a massive tornado-like swirl of flames from that deadly Carr fire tearing through Northern California. That fire alone has now scorched more than 100,000 acres. ABC's Kana Whitworth is there on the front lines for us in Redding. Good morning, Kana.
This is now one of the most destructive wildfires in the history of the state, and firefighters say that's the new normal. And when you take a look at the destruction from our wider shot here, firefighters calling it basically their worst nightmare. And we haven't even hit peak fire season yet in California. This morning, the deadly Carr fire pushing west, forcing residents in neighboring counties to flee their homes.
I've never seen anything like this. It just went any direction it wanted to.
This, as we see new video from the worst of the firestorm. Massive vortexes looming over entire neighborhoods, while houses on the ground explode into fireballs. The brutal force of those swirling winds toppling transmission towers, tossing cars, even twisting this steel pipe around a tree like a pretzel.
I've never seen a fire with such destruction here in this area ever before.
With the fire more than 20% contained, some people from those neighborhoods have finally returned home to find nothing but ash and rubble.
You just never think it's going to happen to you.
It's gone.
Among them, Redding Police Chief Roger Moore.
We had a fireman die that night, right on that other ridge right there. Had it been over a half mile and I was here, that could have been me.
And now new concerns for the nearly 40,000 people forced out by the fire. Police arresting multiple people overnight for looting homes in evacuation areas. To warm your spirits here, I want to introduce you to 2-year-old Gracie, handing out breakfast burritos to fire crews. She has 2 uncles and a grandfather helping to fight this fire. This community overwhelmingly thankful for what they've done. Amy.
Yeah, we needed to see that. Thank you so much, Kana.
Everyone is pitching in. We're going to turn now to the first criminal trial in the Mueller investigation. Paul Manafort, the man who ran
within
This is a KRCR News Channel 7 news brief.
Good morning. I'm Kelly Som with your local news update on the Carr fire in Shasta County. Let's listen into this morning's CAL FIRE briefing, which is underway at the Shasta District Fairgrounds.
250,000 acres burning currently just in California alone. And so resources are strapped through at PL5. So I'm going to ask you guys to continue to work as safely and as efficiently as you can to help us reach our goal of 100% containment here. Thanks. And as they mentioned, we're going into Unified Command with the Forest Service today. So
just to summarize, we have the CAL FIRE briefing streaming on both our website, krcrtv.com, and on our KRCR News Channel 7 Facebook page if you want to see this briefing in its entirety. Recapping the new information this morning, the fire has burned 110,000 acres. It is now 27% contained. 884 homes have been destroyed. CAL FIRE says there is concern about Lewiston. They will be focused on keeping the fire out of Lewiston as they engage in their firefighting efforts today. Chief Meteorologist Mike Kruger has your forecast right after this.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. Are you thinking of
Try for cabinet-ready dishes right out of your dishwasher.
Welcome back, everyone. You can see, of course, the perimeter of the fire right here. This is actually the older image here. Hopefully we can get the new one up here coming up soon. But I want to show you this because listen to the briefing from CAL FIRE. They're putting in more resources in this part of the fire because they are a little concerned because it's westward progression getting closer to Lewiston. Last check with the latest map, it's about 2.5 miles from Lewiston at this point. There you can see 64 degrees at Trinity Camp. Humidity pretty high at about 54%. Temperatures right now are in the low 70s. That is here for the valley. The visibility a bit concerned because it has to be about above 3 miles before they can do that air attack. And taking a look at the temperature trend here, should stay right around 100 degrees in the valley. But I do expect to see a drop in our temperatures, especially for the second half of the weekend and even into early next week in the upper 80s and low 90s.
Car trouble happens. It's inconvenient, cost.
The top headlines we're following right now, at least 63 large fires burning across the West this morning. The massive Carr fire scorching more than 100,000 acres in Northern California, leading to this giant firenado. Houses, they're going up in flames as thousands of firefighters trying to battle this blaze. And lawsuits now starting in that duck boat tragedy in Missouri that killed 17 people. A $100 million wrongful
Hey, that looks more fun than the Zen stuff.
We're all kind of naked.
Yep. Headed to the bar.
I'm Kelly Som with continuing coverage of the Carr fire. CAL FIRE just wrapped up their morning briefing. Claudette Stefanian is live at the District Fairgrounds.
Fire crews have finally been able to turn a corner. That's what we were able to learn today out of the briefing. And one thing they were urging the leads on this project is that they do not want firefighters to get complacent. They're not out of the storm just yet. Taking a look at this map, they want to make sure that this does not move to the west. One of the areas of concern is Lewiston. They want to make sure that it does not move into that area. But when you're dealing with shifty wind patterns, they have to make sure to watch it because it could potentially end up in that area if they don't end up preventing it. Visibility is also an area of concern. It hasn't gotten a whole lot better. And while we're finally seeing some moisture in the air, some cooler temperatures, it's still hot in the area. It's something that they definitely have to be wary about. They're happy to see that they're able to now allow a lot of locals back into their homes. But they said as far as getting people back into their homes, into this red area where there is an active fire, that's not going to be happening. And one of the things they're battling is also on the firefighter side, dealing with firefighter fatigue. As they're entering day 9, a lot of these firefighters are growing weary and they're getting tired. So they're doing their best to try and keep them strong. Keep in mind we're at 27% and just over 110,000 acres burned. With that, back to you.
Thanks a lot. You'll have to forgive me. My weather computer is down right now. I'm going to try to get it back up here, but just wanted to kind of show you the air quality that we are dealing with. This is a live shot from our Mercy Medical Skycam here, and there, of course, what we've got here are those smoky conditions, unhealthy. Is pretty much what we're looking at here. So take it easy if you're going to be outside today. And of course, you saw the report there. One of the biggest concerns right now is that area that is in the northwestern portion of the Carr fire. It is moving westward, and it is about, based on my projections and looking at the overall pattern here, it is about 2 to 3 miles away from Lewiston. So, of course, it's something the firefighters are going to be working extra hard on to make sure it doesn't spread any farther to the west.
Get America's best-selling truck, the Ford F-Series.
Yes.
People.
Wildfires out west, a deadly Carr fire in Northern California spreading. So let's go back to our Kana Whitworth, who's there on the front lines in Redding for the latest. Good morning, Kana.
Robin, good morning. This is now one of the most destructive wildfires in the history of the state, scorching more than 100,000 acres. And firefighters are saying that's really the new normal. These big, destructive wildfires, they describe it basically as their worst nightmare. This is they're starting to let people back in their homes, and you see scenes like this, just these destroyed bikes and barbecues. And this area right now is still too dangerous for people to return. But as I take you to a wider shot and you can see about 10 homes directly right here that have been destroyed. As people are coming home, it's so sad because this is what they're finding. They have really nothing left to return to. I spoke with a local police chief here. He lost his own home of 19 years. It's one of the more than 1,000 structures destroyed. And he told me there's a housing problem now because the shelters are full and the hotels are full. And you have to keep in mind that kids are going to be starting school here soon, and they will be going back to school without a place for them to call home. So the community, he said, is really coming together. They are so thankful for what the firefighters have done, but we haven't hit peak fire season yet here, Robin.
We know how resilient they are and how much we're thinking of them, and they're in our prayers. Kana, thanks so much. Amy?
All right, well, I think we all need a little smile, so how about we switch gears? And if you need a little pick-me-up on this Tuesday morning, well, meet Bonnie. She is living her best life. It's all caught on camera thanks to a